So I got one more thing I got to do. Hey, everybody. We went live just a little bit early. We got our times a little messed up. And so we're going to get all this straight and get to going here. I forgot to load up the link for our guests. Let me copy that right quick and post that. And we will be ready to rock and roll. But we got our guest, the legend in the Nomad community, Mr. Bob Wells with Cheap RV Living. And let me get this typed in. And we are going to be ready to go. So we can share his link to his YouTube channel. Save. And there we go. It should be ready to roll. So we, like I said, we got Mr. Bob Wells. A lot of you guys know him. Some of you guys may not. He's with Cheap RV Living. He's a legend in the Nomad community. He has, if it has been done in the Nomad community, he's either done it or knows somebody that has. And he has helped so many people in that community and crossing boundaries in the RV community, because a lot of that interchange. And but I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell a little bit for those that don't know him, which I say that'd be a small group of people, but just in case we got a few people and our podcast people, so that you guys may not know him. So, Bob, if you don't care, tell us who you are and a little bit about your channel.
I started, my name is Bob Wells, and I started living in a van a long time ago. And I lived in a van for 6 years straight in a city. And then there was a brief break. And then for the last 11 years, I've been living in a van for on boondocking, which by that I mean I live and travel recreationally on public land. Um, I don't have a house. I don't ever stay in a house. I don't want to ever live in a house again. I hate houses. And I have a website and a YouTube channel where I talk about how you too can live really cheaply and travel. And for a lot of us, live the life of our dreams by living in a car, van, SUV, or even an RV.
Yeah. So, you've been around a lot of years, and you've done it all different ways. Like you've had all kind of equipment. What would you think would be the biggest change in the last few years, like inventions or regulations that maybe have helped people that live this lifestyle?
Helped. Well, solar. Uh, I started boondocking full time in 2008, and solar was expensive. My first solar panel was a 55-watt panel, and I paid $300 for it.
Wow.
Well, today I'd want to get for $300. I could easily expect to get 200-watt panels, 400-watt
Wow.
or more. And if you watch for and good used are out commonly available now. So I would say the main change over the last 11 years was solar, and mainly the price of solar dropped dramatically.
Mm.
And to go with that too, though, the equipment we use with that solar, like all of our appliances and stuff, the power usage has went way down as well, I guess, over the past 10 years as well, ain't it? What it requires.
Well, I'm on an iPad, which is 5 volt, and
Yeah.
yes, so in that sense, the smartphones, the incredible utility of a smartphone is amazing. What all you can do with it. An iPad, laptops they're down. They're less raw than they have been. Um, those are the main things that I think are personal devices that have become, and the real prevalence of 12-volt items. I guess I would say that too. You can buy a 12-volt anything you want in 12-volt anymore. But that's mainly due to the truckers because they all use them.
Right. And two, I guess and it's hard for me to imagine life without a laptop, but 11 years ago, you could watch some stuff on your laptop as far as TV stuff, but nowadays you can do anything you want to do media wise, TV, work, whatever can be done. It's one piece of equipment now, where used to you had to have a TV, you had to have a satellite if you wanted to watch, or just not watch TV at all. That's
Yeah, I would completely. For a brief while, you couldn't get. Yeah, there was a time not very long ago where you just weren't going to get much entertainment if you didn't have um, satellite TV. So for 3 years, oh, at least 5 years ago, I got it probably 8 years ago and had it for 3 years. And I carried a little satellite TV dish, which sounds hard, but it's not. I had direct TV. And yeah, that was, if you wanted to ever watch real TV, that was how you were going to do it. But like you said, not anymore. It's all on your laptop, it's all on your iPad.
yeah. When you were 11 years ago, if you were a nomad, you got out a lot more than maybe so now. If you're a nomad, you can have most of the comfort creatures of home.
The electronic comfort creatures, yeah, they're all still there. I mean, they're there in my van. My life hasn't changed really in any other way except the communications, I would say.
Do
And
you
the
think
solar is the
solar
solar is
huge?
what allows all that.
What's your take on all the new power banks? The technology there is just going out the roof. Do you think power banks is going to be the new power station to all nomad versus like some of these van builds? It's like wiring a house. They go in and have all these big amounts of wire and all. Do you think power banks will eventually take the place of that?
I hope not. They aren't a good thing. Not in the long run. You have one failure, your entire system's gone. Uh, and what are you gonna? So here you got $1,000 power bank, and one part of it breaks, and now you can't use anything. So what are you gonna do? And it weighs, what do they weigh? The big ones, 50 pounds
Oh yeah, the new ones. Yeah,
and more. And so now you're boxing up a 50-pound item. You're sending it. A lot of these are Chinese. Where are you sending them? I don't know where you're sending them. Is there a U.S.? I mean, a lot of the cheap names. Where are you sending it to? How long is it going to be in the mail? And what are you doing without power while it's gone because one thing broke? On the other hand, if you build your own system, and you're right. A lot of people go really nuts. But if you go to Amazon and buy a 200-watt Renogy kit, there are 3 items and a lot of wiring and the feet. There's little auxiliary items that will never ever break. But there are 3 items in a kit. For you go to buy a 200-watt kit, a Renogy kit for $300. There's a solar panel which will never break because they're warranted 25 years. They just run forever. There's a solar controller which is probably going to be cheap and will cost you $50 to replace, and you can have it in your hand tomorrow. And that's it. And the battery, you got your own battery, but you just went down to Walmart and bought a battery.
right.
So if my system breaks down, I'm fixed tomorrow. I mean, I literally am on the road tomorrow. Uh, and what's going to happen when that power bank breaks down?
Whole
You're
system.
you're buying a new one.
Yeah,
Or you're waiting weeks and weeks and weeks, and they're too expensive to be out going buying new ones. Not only
right.
that, but the promise of lithium is that you get that 2,000 cycles. Well, that's an amazing promise, and it's pretty close to real. However, a lot of those power banks, Jackery comes to mind, only has 500 cycles. Well, that's nothing. If you use a cycle a day, that's not even 2 years. And then in
Right.
2 years, you're buying a new Jackery because that's not a good battery. So you got to be careful, know what you're doing, and just be aware. One thing breaks, the solar controller and that thing breaks, you can't open it and fix it. It's
Right.
trash, or you're sending it to the manufacturer.
That is, I think, what draws people to your show, and that was something I was leading up to, and me myself included with the RVs. A lot of times, I look at something new that comes out and think, man, that is the way to go. That's going to be the new way of doing things. But then I can flip over to your channel. You got all these years of experience. You got real life. In other words, they're going to show you the pretty side of using this item. You're going to show people the real life side of using it. Um, And I
Right.
think that's what
They are
brings.
so attractive. It's you look at those battery big power banks and you think, man, it's all in one. I just flip a switch, I plug in the solar panel. It's great. Um, until one thing breaks, and then boom, you got a brick. You got $1,000 brick sitting in your van.
Yeah. So, um, what would and I know I've watched a lot enough of your stuff to know I think I know what your answer is going to be to this. But for the people out here, what would you think people that desire to live the nomad life but are afraid to take the leap? What do you think the one biggest thing is that prevents them from taking that leap?
Well, there's a pretty broad assortment of answers. For some people, it's money. They don't have. They think they can't afford it, and but I guess for probably the majority of people, it's safety. People worry about bears. I get a lot of letters and people asking, "Well, won't the bears eat me?" Or the coyotes or the snakes or there's our society has convinced us there are roving bands of marauders everywhere in the country, and if you ever go off the beaten path, they're going to descend on you like a horde. Genghis Khan is riding down out of the hill and going to
Right.
get, and they're that's an idea that it's astoundingly prevalent. And of course, there's not even the slightest, tiniest shred of that truth in that. The safest place you can be is in the middle of nowhere, um, or anywhere away from a city. The worst place you can be is in a city, and that's where they all want to stay. So I think I don't know. There are lots of answers to that. And fear of their safety is biggest component of fear.
You think TV drives that with the bad movies and stuff that we see? You think that drives it?
And the media, every
Yeah.
single bad thing it is instantly in front of your eyes wherever it is in the world, and that accumulates to be an awful lot of bad things because there's 330 million of us, and if only 1/10 of 1% experience really bad things, and you show every one of them on your TV, my goodness, that's all you will ever see. And so that's what we see. That's what we think the world's like. It is
Yeah.
not.
I get the same thing, and this goes back to experience. I travel to Uganda once a year, and we do mission work over there and dig water wells and stuff. And people ask me all the time, "Are you not afraid to go over there?" And I'm like, "No, you watch way too much TV."
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, and then that's the same in the nomad life.
yeah.
You know,
Anything in life, and it ends up purposeful. Although this is going to sound like a conspiracy theory, and I don't mean it that way at all, but fearful people are docile people. Because if you're dependent on the government to keep you safe from Genghis Khan, who is riding out there somewhere, or the raving bands of murderers and rapists, then you are going to be pretty compliant, and you're going to stay home, you're going to go to work, and you're going to produce, and you're going to buy, and the economy is going to hum right along. And so that's what this society wants, and that's what this society has gotten: compliant
yeah,
people.
yeah. I try to tell people, and I noticed a lot of this on nomads and even van lifers. I see this a lot. They say, imagine how hard it was for you to find that perfect spot. Now imagine somebody wanting to do something bad to you, finding you at that perfect spot.
Right,
You know,
right.
it would just like being two stars colliding. You'd have to that
Yeah.
the percentage of that is way low.
I mean, it's in the ballpark of being struck by an asteroid.
Yeah, yeah.
uh, yeah, there are asteroids out here. There's no doubt about it. But the odds of my being hit by one are not all that good.
Do you think with with the world that we live in now, I was actually, and I was telling this on the show the other day, I was actually, I had a producer from PBS to call, and they're fixing to do a story on the effects of the economy pushing people like me and my wife's going to move to our RV once we sell our home. We hope it's temporary until we decide to go full time, but they're doing a story because it seems to be a big thing. Do you think that with the economy do you think more people is going to pick the nomad lifestyle as a choice, or maybe even being forced? Do you see that population growing?
Extreme. I see an extreme explosion of growth. I started my Cheap RV Living channel in 2005. YouTube didn't exist, and so when 2008 hit, and people were being forced out of their homes, lost their jobs, moved in with lost their house, moved in with their family. The family lost the job, and they started Googling where I live in my car, live cheaply. I was there. I had all my information on the website, so my website exploded, and the number of people out here exploded. Well, it is going to be that again, probably multiplied many times. And so, yes, I think we're looking at an enormous increase in the nomadic community. It's the only way a lot of us are going to be able to live. And it's pretty obvious that the weather is changing. We don't have to talk about climate change. If you do a little bit of research, the insurance industry covers the number of billion-dollar natural disasters every year. They've been doing it for a long time. They're insurance companies, and if they're going to make a profit, they have to know what their risks are, right?
Right.
That's how
Mhm.
capitalism works. You want to make money, you got to do research. Well, in the 1980s, the average number of billion-dollar disasters was 2.8.
Wow.
Yeah, 2.8. When
Mhm.
was the last time we had just three natural disasters? We've got three going right this second.
Right.
And so, and if you get a chart, and if you Google it, number of uh, billion-dollar disasters, it's just like that. And I think the average over the last 5 years, and every decade since, NOAA keeps track of all this stuff. That's what NOAA does, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. They study the weather, and they keep track of everything that's been in modern times been recorded. And so you'll see this straight course like this on a graph, and now we're averaging 12. So and that this is all adjusted for inflation. It's the same dollars. It just hasn't gone up because inflation's gone up, and it's tracked by the insurance industry, the ultimate in capitalism. And so when you start seeing them everywhere, I don't know if any of you are in the Midwest. Have you ever heard of a Del Recco? It's a
Mhm.
kind of a storm I'd never even heard of before. Well, I've heard of
Mhm.
it now because there was a monster Del Recco that hit 7 states and did billions and multiple billions of dollars worth of damage. Here's a disaster I'd never even heard of before. Unless you're from the Midwest, I don't think you would have. And so we're into
Yeah,
Greek alphabet. All that to say, I get carried away. All that to say, the number of natural disasters, whatever you think about climate change, is going up. Yeah, it's freaky. And if you live in a house and there's and pandemic is going to be included in this because it's a natural disaster. And if you live in a house, how are you getting away from it? Here comes the third hurricane of the season. Are you going to stay?
Mhm.
Here's the next flood. Here's the next wildfire. Whatever it is. And Del Recco, uh, that still baffles me. Here's this huge storm, and I've
Mhm.
never even heard of it before. Um, well, if you
it
live
was
in an
weird, Bob.
RV, you
I
get in your
actually
car,
saw the
another RV,
effects of
drive
that.
away. Go ahead.
I
See,
actually saw the effects of that Del Rico. I went up to Iowa shortly after that, and to see the devastation that that straight line wind caused was incredible. And I'd never heard of it before either.
yeah, it was. I guess it was just devastating. I guess many of the that's our farm belt and agriculture belt, and man, I guess a lot of foodstuffs are just gone. We're not going to get them.
Would you think that the public perception or the public being more open, you think the public at general and cities and municipalities, you think they're more open or less open to nomads now versus 8 or 10 years ago?
It depends on where you're at. Some states, and it might be red blue. Uh, it's really hard to generalize. Some states are going, it's harder and harder and harder to live in your van. And there are some places where it's just so overwhelming, they've had to make concessions. It's almost always, that's decided at the city level. States do pass laws. Feds have nothing to do with it whatsoever, other than federal land, federal buildings. And so it's mainly decided at the city level. And it's usually, although not always, some states have come out with hardcore almost like the anti-vagrancy laws of the early 1900s against the hobos and the tramps. We're seeing that kind of thing coming up. So there's encouraging news there, and there's a lot of very discouraging news there. So it's a mixed bag. Some cities are opening up areas. They're saying, okay, you can go live in your car on this parking lot. But that's not the norm. More of the norm is you can't, cracking down on the homeless. And sadly, we're lumped in with the homeless.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What people consider people that lives in their cars homeless, and they're not.
Mhm.
They have
Mhm.
shelter. Some of them may be, but they still have shelter, and a lot of them have what they need. That needs to be looked at the point of, can we help that person, or that person independent? You know, are they able to sustain life? And if that's the case, they need to be left alone. But you know, that's the world we live in, and so you just never know.
Well, if you think about it, again, society has one primary goal for each and every American: be compliant. Buy a home, rent a home, go to work every day, buy lots of crap. And as
Yep.
long as you're doing that, everything goes smoothly. If you stop doing that, it's not good. And they don't want you to stop doing that. That's what they want. That's the American dream.
In the RV community, we talk about going full time, and we have a lot of people that have made the mistake when they go full time of considering it a full time vacation. What is something that you see a lot with people going to a full time nomadic life? What do you see as one of the biggest mistakes they make?
Well, you really kind of have to distinguish your groups. For most full-time RVers, they're retired and it's a vacation. That's all they're doing. I think the vast majority, escapees. Let's talk about the escapees. You're familiar with the escapees? Really huge, enormous RVing club, probably the biggest of all, I'm sure, by far. Well, the vast majority of escapees are retired. They're 60s, 70s. They've retired. They're on vacation. That's all they're going to be doing. Now, I think that my appeal has primarily cars, vans, and RVs. That's most people don't think of that way as retirement. They think of that as a last resort. So, for my community, what I think of as the nomadic community that I service, uh, that's very different. They're not they're not wealthy. Okay, well, most escapees have $2, $3, $4,000 a month between the couple, between a pension, Social Security. They're living on 2, 3, 4,000 a month. They're on vacation. They're on vacation the rest of their life. Most of my folks make by far less than 2,000. Many make less than 1,000, and so they're on vacation for the rest of their life. But they have to be very, very tight with their money.
Do you see people jumping into this though with a different mindset than it really is, and making a lot of mistakes right out the gate because of their lack of experience?
Again, you have to look at the two communities. I can only speak for my community.
Right.
I'm not all that familiar with the traditional retired RVer. Is that your question about them?
Well, no, I'm asking, like, say if I told you that I wanted to build me a van, and I'm selling everything I got. I'm gonna go to nomadic living in a van. I get out there. What would be the one thing you would warn me not to do up front? If you could give me that one warning, say, hey, this is different than you're picturing it. I need to warn you about this. How would you warn people, or what would you tell them before they left their home and started doing this?
Well, my first worry would be about all the details of how to stay alive. I'd ask you, how much money do you have to live on? If you have enough money to live on, then I would give. If you did not have enough money to live on, I'd tell you a lot about how to live cheaply. If you had enough money to live on, you're doing this because this is just the wonderful life you want to have, and a lot of millennials are like that. Then I guess the one, and it's going to depend a lot on your age. There's a lot of variables here. If you're older, what I'm going to tell you is you've been trained every moment of your life to watch a clock, and your life is dictated by the concept of productivity and busyness. What am I doing? And if I'm not doing anything, why am I not doing something? I mean, from grade school till the grave, you're ordered to be busy and productive and accomplishing something. And your identity is wrapped up in whatever that is. So if you come out here and that is taken away from you, it can be really emotionally upsetting. All of a sudden you wake up in the morning and you've got nothing to do. Maybe you're sitting in the middle of nowhere. I literally am sitting right in the middle of nowhere. And you've got nothing to do all day, but you keep looking at the clock because that's what you're supposed to do. The old idea that the guy retires and 2 years later he's dead because he's lost his meaning in life. His whole meaning in life is productivity, watching the clock. And his identity is so wrapped up in that, and now it's gone. And who is he? And he has never once in his life thought about who he is, except I'm this worker, I'm this job, I am a breadwinner, I am a husband. I'm speaking for men, but it's also true for women. It's less true for women. They have much better sense than we do. But for men, this is going to be the big thing. You're going to get out here and you're going to wake up and you're going to be terrified by all the thoughts going on in your head that you're not just filling every second of the day with some distraction. That lack of distraction is going to be hard. Now, of course, what we do now is have YouTube, and wherever we go, we have YouTube. So we turn on YouTube and watch YouTube, and then we don't have to listen to our own feelings in our heart, and we don't want anything to do with those. Of course, that's what life is about.
Yeah.
So instead of being human beings, we're humans doing, not humans being, and so it can be really emotionally upsetting in the beginning.
I have a hard time. One of my doctors is 2.5 hours away from my house, and I usually go by myself when I go. And I was thinking the other day, I said, I cannot imagine making this 2.5 hours each way without my cell phone. And then I think that someday I want to go full time. Of course, we got all the technology now, but I'm thinking, how did people do it before technology? How do you do it? A question I had, it's sort of a mix with some questions. This is my morning crew team that you see everybody on the stream. We do this morning show every day, and then we do a Tuesday night show, and so we just sort of have a team of us, and they help me keep all the graphics and everything going, and keep my mind focused. But in some of the questions we worked on the last couple of days, we as a team have noticed that even in RVing, but even all the way in all aspects of the nomad life, we've noticed that the age, even in the nomad life, has gotten younger and younger and younger. Do you worry about their long-term future financially when you see people maybe, whoops,
Uh-oh.
oh, there you are. Hey, that's live RV nomad talk right there. You liable to be here 1 second and go on to that. Have you ever sat and thought about how a lot of these young, I'm not going to say all of them, but a lot of the young nomads have maybe a bank account or maybe somebody supporting them, but maybe 30 years down the road they don't. Do you ever talk to people about that?
I have, and I have thought about it, and I do talk about it. And I have an answer. I have an assistant who's worried that I'm not on here. Let me tell her I'm on here. Hey, I'm on the interview now. I'll talk to you later. Or she'll keep going.
Yeah.
Here's my answer. And you're worried that they're going to get old and not have any money, and they're going to be eating dog food. That's basically the question.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what society has been telling each and every one of us for the last, since World War II. Before then, no one seemed to really thought. Well, FDR started it in the 30s during the Great Depression with Social Security. Until then, no one thought about it. It was just the assumption we were all going to eat dog food when we got old, unless we got rich. And so I kind of distracted myself there. Lost my train
I'm
of
the
thought.
same way.
Here's the way it's going to work. Pensions are gone. Hardly anyone gets a pension anymore. Basically, you're either going to put money in a 401k and then save your own money and get Social Security towards your golden years, right? Does anyone here have a pension?
I have a little bitty retirement, but
Yeah.
not much.
Well, and
We have
you're
one.
older. See, you probably have them come for a while now.
Right.
Mhm.
It's really rare to find, other than a 401k, the money you're putting money in and they're matching it somehow, or an IRA. We probably all have IRAs or 401ks or something. But here's what's happening. So the pensions are gone, basically, as an economic instrument in this country, other than a few government. It still exists in government, but no, almost nowhere else. And 50% of Americans don't have a penny in the bank. And I mean, these are the statistics, and a lot of people
Yeah.
are getting them. No, most Americans
Right.
don't have a penny in the bank.
Right.
Mhm.
Living check to check. So
Yeah.
all they're going to get Social Security, right? The way the system is designed right now, any of us are going to get is Social Security, and that isn't going to be enough to live on. It isn't enough to live on. And that's most of the people in my audience are people who are on Social Security, older, and they don't make enough to live on. They have to live in a car, van, or RV, and I've showed them how to do that, and so they can live and live, I think, better. So it's not really a sacrifice at all. But here's the thing: if you learn as a young person, so this young person, someone who's 30, they've already worked, they've built some money, they've got a nice van. What's going to happen to them in 40 years, 30, 40 years? Well, they've learned how to live really cheaply, and they've learned how to make a buck along the road. So they're out working. So every 6 months they have to stop and work. And I tell them, that's a good thing, because now you're building up a small Social Security, not a lot, but some.
Mhm.
And you should all be saving towards an IRA, your first 10% of whatever you earn. A lot of these young people aren't on big savings. They're just out having fun, but they have to work. And I've got a lot of videos on how to work and what kind of work. So put your first 10% in an IRA, make sure you're building up your Social Security. So you're going to have a little bit coming in when you're older. But the key thing is you've learned how to live really, really cheaply. And that skill, when you get older, will be more, and how to just find a job, any old job. That skill will serve you much better than a non-existent pension. So I think they're going to be better off by learning how to live on 300 or 400 a month than a person who is renting an apartment and working full time and ends up with zero money and only has Social Security.
Yeah.
Because when they hit 60, they can live on $400 a month, and it's not that hard to come up with $400 a month. And I think nearly all of us, the average American, will be working until their 70s and 80s. That is the new pension plan.
Yeah. My dad never taught me the word retire anyway, so I never did. That never was built into my system, retire. So,
Yeah, we're still thinking in the terms of the baby boomers. I got a nice pension. I got nice Social Security. I live comfortably. I could live comfortably on without working at all. But that's gone. I mean, it just isn't there anymore. And so we're thinking that society will provide, and it will not. So you have to provide for yourself. But
Hmm.
society, it's rigged right now so that all the money is scooped off the top and goes to the 1%, and you're left with nothing. And none of us have any money in the bank. That's really the situation in this country. And it's going to, there's nothing, I don't see anything in the future that's going to change that.
The
Yeah.
situation that our world's in right now, me and my wife lived a different lifestyle then than we do now. And we've realized that we sort of like eating at home. As crazy as that sounds, so that makes more sense about if you're already in that lifestyle, all this eating out and all this stuff, and like you
Hmm.
said, you can live comfortable, but you choose not to because you don't have the desire to do those other things anymore. I think that says a lot about the years that you've already lived that lifestyle and the knowledge that you put out. Did you think one of my questions was, and I know you've got to go to another meeting, did you think when you started, I guess your website was the first social media outlet you had, did you think when you started that these many years later that you'd be considered a legend and a rock star in your field? I mean, did you actually think that that would be such a big thing when you did that?
No, 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 no. You never, I could never have planned
I
this.
made him turn red. But really, that's how we see you. Even the RV community, which I'm in, when your name is mentioned, everybody says that's a legend right there. I mean, that is
Hmm.
what you do transcends into the RV world because a lot of the stuff we use crosses boundaries.
Right. Thank you. That's very kind of you to say. No, I just, I was just an average Joe I was forced to live in a van. I didn't choose it initially. I went through a divorce, and my ex-wife literally got half my take-home pay. I mean, literally, it was exactly half my take-home pay, and I couldn't afford to rent an apartment, so I moved into a van. And then I fell in love with it. At first, I was horrified. I felt like a loser and a failure and a bum, and I certainly never thought about becoming a legend then. Um, and as I went along, I fell in love with it, and then I fell in love with not paying rent every month, and then with the freedom, and I found and I the connection to nature, and I fell in love with it so much I wanted to tell people. That was all. That was all I ever wanted to do, and then in 2008 with the last crash, and it exploded. Then I had something people desperately needed, and then the emphasis changed. This wasn't I was if you're interested, I'll tell you about it. But now people were desperate to hear what I had.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, I know. You tell me when you have to leave because I understand you have another meeting, but we're here for as long as you want. We'd love to have you. I love picking your brain, and I just am
Hmm.
honored that you took the time out to be on my little bitty show. And and I know all of our chat was ecstatic when we announced that you had said that you'd be available to come. And we, but I know in watching your videos that you love to help people, and I see that that comes natural to you. Was that always a natural thing, or is over time when you were forced into doing the band thing, did it come to you then, or have you always your whole life? I watched your video this morning. You talked about Martin Luther King Jr. and his comment about that we're all able to serve. Is that been your life, or is that something when you were forced into the band that you picked up along the way?
It did very much coincide. No, it was not all my life. I think we're all naturally kind, giving people. And in fact, once you hit the road, instead of running around and finding hordes of murderers and rapists, you're going to just find amazing, wonderful people all across this country. We are great people. And it's so sad that in the media we're portrayed as these, just always look behind you because someone's going to stab you in the back. And
Right.
this country is full of great people everywhere. And I think everyone has a desire to help a brother. That's normal and natural. The idea I can't help you, you're not because of who you are. That's trained into us. We're not born with that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I think it's true of everyone, and a lot of it is just getting out of the programming and the fear um, that and the constant media, and realizing that underneath the skin and the ideology, we're all just the same people, and we care about each other. If we'd let ourselves, we care about each other. Uh, but for me, it became I kind of went through a midlife crisis, and it happened to coincide, well, very much instigated by getting the divorce and being forced into a van. And it became a point in my life when I fell in love with living in the van. And I would say for the first time in my life, I was happy, really happy. A year later, many years later, for a while, it was horrible, really horrible. Um, because I was going through the divorce and we were fighting about the kids. And, if you've
Yeah.
ever been divorced, it's
I
horrible.
lived through a divorce as a kid, so I know.
Oh my. And not only that, but now I'm living in a van at the same time because I can't afford to. It was bad. So I went through a midlife crisis, and I really made a decision to become a different person. It was literally that decision. And I have followed a path since then. Uh, well, I can give you a tiny, tiny little bit of the path I follow. Where every evening before when I go to bed, I ask myself if I was loving and kind to all that day. And if I don't, if I have to say no, I was a real bad guy to them, or I was mean to her, or whatever, or I was
Mm-hmm.
really snotty or smart or angry, then I asked myself, how could I make up for that the next day? And so it became a determined effort to be a different person. And it turns out that if you'll make a determined effort over time, you can become a different person. Um, and I just didn't do it on my own. I followed a path. Uh, and so I became a different person.
I uh, I can tell. Uh, I was nervous wreck. You can ask Felix and Nettie and Jerry when they told me you was gonna be on the show. More videos. I had watched your videos, but I no way could I have watched all of them. Because you've been on a long time, and the more videos I watched of yours that you had out, the more relaxed I got because I thought we're a lot on the same wavelength when it comes to giving and helping, and a lot of times the best gift you can give somebody is knowledge, and man, you do that on a daily basis, and
Yeah.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
that is something that I think, and you touched on it this morning on your video, that we all have something to give, and
Exactly.
I think
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to thank you in person for that
Mm-hmm.
because people don't realize that we all have something to give, and man, the gift that you give the world is will go
Mm-hmm.
on and on and on and on. And I don't mean just to say that in front of you, just to be saying it. It's true. You've
Yeah.
given people life lessons for free, and they're going to
Yeah.
be able to take that and live a better life for less.
We're firm believers of paying it forward, and
Yeah,
that's what you're doing.
yeah.
Exactly.
Do you see that? Do you see that your legacy being yours? I know that's hard to see and it's hard to admit, I guess, but in 10 years, you've probably already seen people split off and even more and branch off. You've got trees of people out there
Mm-hmm.
teaching what you taught them. Do you see that being a 20 and 30 and 100 years down the road?
Um, yes, I hope so. Um, I think we're in for some really rough times in the country coming up. It's hard not to see that.
Yeah.
And so I try not to think. Well, the path I follow is to stop thinking about yourself so much. It's not very hard. It's not, that's not a great revelation. Stop thinking in terms of I and start thinking in terms of we.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I try very carefully to do is to be gracious when people say nice things, um, and receive it warmly, and thank you. I really appreciate it. But yeah, there's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who are going to be really, really hurting really soon. And so the question is what am I doing for them?
Right.
If I keep focused on that, then things turn out. So that's all I do. Focus,
So
try and focus on we instead of just I. I is important. Or there's an old, actually, it's Audrey Hepburn. Audrey Hepburn was an amazingly wise woman, but there's an Audrey Hepburn quote that says, God gave us two hands, and one hand is to take care of ourselves, and one hand is to take care of the other, someone else. And if you keep your hands in balance and in strength and in motion, uh, your life's going to be pretty good. And so I've just endeavored no more and no less than to make sure that the hand that reaches out is at least as busy as the hand that's focused on me.
so
Yeah.
I've got, I think, one of the ultimate questions. Average guy, Bob Wells, the legend, the rock star in the Nomad and RV community, gets approached to be in a movie. What's the first thing Bob Wells says?
Well, I have a movie coming out.
I
Yeah,
know.
that's why I'm asking the
You know that.
question. When
Well,
you're
the first thing
approached,
he said was, "Oh yeah."
yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. What you know why I say that is, I, like I said, I got called by PBS, and I was skeptical to even to agree to be called by them. I was asked by somebody else, and then they called me because I know what TV does to things. And it sometimes takes a good thing and makes it look totally different than what it really is. Did you worry about that when you were asked to be in this movie?
No, a little. Yes, absolutely right. I'm approached by the media pretty regularly, and so it is something I am concerned about. I've seen the movie, and it's really good. It's really positive towards our community. It's not. A lot of them are just so focused on the down and outer part of it that that's all they see. The homeless bums on the street, and now they're homeless bums in cars and vans,
Yeah.
and that's not what it is at all. It's
Mm-hmm.
heavy emphasis on this is a choice this woman makes in the movie. This is what she wants out of her life because it's a better life for her. But yeah, you're right. It is something I have to be very careful about. I knew the background of the movie. It was based on the book Nomad Land, which had been out now for a while. And the author of the book, Jessica Bruder, she came to 3 different RTRs. I've camped with her. I know her. And I think the emphasis on the book is a little too down and outer. It is a little, if you've ever read the book, it's a little too down and outer. Um, but the more, and I talked to the writer, the author, and the director of the movie, and I could tell that that's not what this was going to be. This was going to be, and I think it is it's a drama, and life is hard, uh, but there's joy in it, and I could tell that that's what it was going to be, and it turned out to be just that.
Well, I know if you agree to be in it, that you must have researched it, and I can't wait to see the movie. Now I can't wait to read the book you just told me about because I didn't know about the book. No, Nettie's over here; her little fingers are moving. She's trying to find the book already. Her and Felix, I can tell. And so I love having these ladies and Jerry Holly with me. They do a lot of the behind the scenes that I don't know how to do or have time to do, and they keep it going. But so you know what the movie's about. We'll know what it's about. I think it comes out in the States this winter. If I understood Camo Dave correctly, it comes out about December.
Right, it's scheduled for December 4th. It's already been in 5 of the film festivals. They have the new fall season film festivals, and it's won 2 Best Pictures out of the 5 so far. So it's going to do well.
And
Well,
we're all,
it's going to do well by the critics. Who
yeah.
knows how many people will go see it?
Well, we're all going to support it. It's about
Oh,
us.
definitely.
And if you give it a thumbs up, well, that's just like winning an award right there. It won the Bob Wells Award. And so,
yeah, as I watched it, they had a showing in LA I went to, and it was hard for me to think of it as a movie because this was just our lives that I'm watching. You know, this was my life and my friend's life. And any morning of my life, I could wake up and do what she's doing and live the way she's living. It's very, very accurate.
it was more like a documentary to you, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's not. It's a story. It's
Yeah.
definitely a fiction story. But yeah, it's very accurate portrayal, I think.
You think this, and I'm sure it was, or you wouldn't have been in it. You think this will promote Nomad Living?
The timing is pretty amazing. You know,
That's what I was thinking.
People are they've got a moratorium on evictions, but that's scheduled to run out the first of the year. If it does,
It's going to be a lot of people on the streets.
there are going to be a lot of people on the streets looking for living in cars and vans.
Yeah. My chat, and they know what me and my family've been through. It shut our business down. We're selling our home. We had talked about going full time eventually one day. We're not going to go hungry by no stretch of the means. I want nobody to feel sorry for her, but we're going to move into our camper until we can buy something cheaper. We can pay cash for, and then we want to travel more, and then maybe keep downsizing. We've been downsizing for 10 years, and we keep moving down. As the kids move out, we move down. And so, but I think, just like with us, I think it's going to force us into things a little quicker than maybe some of us wanted to, and force people in it that never thought of it. I'm glad we got somebody like you and your channel out there to help people through it. I can see your channel exploding with the knowledge and with the movie. I think you'll be maybe the next 1 million subscriber YouTube channel that earned it. I don't say that other channels didn't earn it, but I think you're going to earn it because you have something real to offer. I can't wait to see what the future is for you and your channel. And I know you're busy and you got to go, and we're going to let you go. We don't want your assistants coming and hunting us down and saying,
Yeah.
I done been getting texts from my helpers here. You got to let him go. He's got to
go.
Yeah.
They will hunt me down and hurt me. So, but I don't know if you know what an honor it was for me and the crew here to have you on our show.
Absolutely.
I hope maybe one of these days we can do it again, and maybe one of these days we can all meet up, and that would be awesome.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
But I just want to thank you on behalf of everybody you ever helped, for everything you've done, and for those who don't know, he has a nonprofit. He helps people get into the nomad lifestyle, and other than just teaching, they have a nonprofit where they gave away. How many vans have you guys gave away?
Well, we've only been in business 2 years now. Last year we donated, I think, like 7 vehicles, and so far this year only 2, but we have 4 more coming up we're going to donate.
That is awesome.
So you can go to his YouTube channel and probably over on the about side and find out all the information you need to know. It's CheapRVLiving. Go check out his channel. You'll learn a lot and support his channel. And if you want to help, they're doing a giveaway on a cargo trailer, Felix. They're giving away a cargo trailer. You can get a free entry, and then you can buy more entries, and all that goes to help the nonprofit. All that information, I'm sure, is somewhere around your about page, or there'll be a link to get you there somehow. And so go support that. We're going to advertise that on our community page once I get it up, and we'll get it. Well, we got the community page, but once I get it over there, we'll advertise your giveaway as well. So, but we're going to let you go.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Do you have anything you want to say?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate the time.
Well,
Thank you.
appreciate it. If we can ever help you, let us know. We'll
Mhm.
plug something for you or whatever you need us to do. You just give us a call.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks very
you.
much, Bob.
Appreciate it.
Bye now.
Take care,
Bye.
Bob.
Bye.
Wow, that was
Wow.
good.
Good job.
Lordy mercy. That was awesome, guys. For those that just came in and we were already interviewing Bob, there was a little mix up in the time and we did not want to hold him up. We knew he had a meeting immediately following our interview.
Right.
So we are sorry if some of you missed it. You can come back and watch the replay. We'll also have it on the podcast. I'm behind on uploading podcasts. And so I'll try to get caught up on the podcast today or tomorrow. I'll get this up on the podcast. Probably the first one I load up. So the couple I'm behind on, I'll load them up later. But this will also be replayed. It's probably already, when we end it, it'll upload so you can rewatch it. So man, I appreciate all of you guys coming out too. And so we can hang
I
out
know
for a
the
little bit.
movie is
What?
Nomad. The movie is Nomad Land, but the book, is it the same name as the movie? I didn't catch that.
We may have to rewind to get the book
Yeah, I
name.
don't know. Probably have to replay.
Okay.
So if you want a timestamp to rewind, it'll be about 55 minutes
Okay.
or around 50 minutes when we talked about that. So if any of y'all want to rewind, it's about 50 minutes. It's somewhere around, it might be 40 to 50 minute time. It's when we talked about that. So anyway, wow. Whew.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting.
That was awesome.
My back is wet with sweat. So
And for everyone that was putting questions in the chat, we purposely
Yeah.
were not answering and going with chat questions because we knew we only had him for, well, Gary kept him longer than we were supposed to, but 45 to 50 minutes. So we had to just kind of stick with what Gary had to ask. And
yeah,
we
what we ran
couldn't get
into,
off
they
on-
know me and my squirrel moments. And we talked about this a lot before we done it. And in talking to his assistants, they were pretty adamant that we didn't go over. Actually, we got him on a little earlier. Reason why I stayed on a little later. But the time was messed up just a little bit. And so that's not a big deal. But when the man is in the studio and he's ready to roll, we just rolled with it. I knew you guys wouldn't mind. And so we had to work with his schedule because, like I say, he had a meeting immediately following us. So we didn't want to mess him up and him not be able to be back on with us again in the future. And we also didn't want him have a bad experience and then maybe tell somebody else. So
Yeah.
I found the book. I dropped it in the link. I dropped
Oh
the
yeah.
link.
so now the book that the movie's based off of, that's not the book.
No, that's not the book. That's just the one that I see right now that's up.
Okay. The book the movie's made off of, we'll have to rewind, and I tell you what we'll do. We'll try to find a link to that book, and I'll try to put it in the community tab. Or somewhere we'll try to find that book and link it in there somehow. So wow, I'm still shaking just a little bit.
You did great, Gary. You did great.
Oh man, that was something right there, and he was just so nice, and he was nice behind the scenes, guys. He didn't say, "Hey, we got to roll, we got to rock and roll." He's like, "Hey, that'd be great if we could go ahead and go on," and just super nice. We haven't had a bad experience. I mean, they were picky about needing to get him in and out, but who wouldn't be?
Linda Barker says the book was Nomad Land: Surviving America in the 21st Century.
Yeah.
I found
Put
it.
that in there.
Yeah, I found it.
I'd say that'd be a good book to get. So
I bought so many books here lately. I'm gonna have to learn to read.
And I was looking for him as an author, but the author is Jessica Bruder. So that's why I couldn't find it.
oh man, wow, he was sitting out in the middle of nowhere today, and
Yeah.
that's what he told us. And whew, Man, that has got to be, and I got screenshots, guys. I don't know if y'all took screenshots, but I even took some screenshots with the chat in it. I didn't even notice who all was in it, but at the time I took the screenshot, I done a big one and got everybody that was in the chat. So maybe we got a few names. I'll try to share those. You can't do but one picture at a time in the community section. I wish we could do like 3 or 4 pictures.
I dropped a link to that book, Gary.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, wow, I'm speechless. Thank you, Felix, for getting us hooked up with that interview.
Exactly. That was so awesome.
It was, I mean, all I did was ask. So
Felix and Nettie sends out, I don't know, would y'all say y'all send out 50 requests combined a week?
I don't know. I don't think 50. I'd say more like 20 to 25. And we actually, the last week or so, 2 maybe, it's been, I think, we stopped because we've booked so far ahead. And
that's not good for me.
Change, between now and, even into October, stuff could change. So we've kind of, slacked off a little bit, but here in a couple of weeks, we'll probably be starting to send some more out. I mean, I've been keeping a list of channels that I've come across that I want to ask, email. And so
Grassroots Living's in the house. I seen y'all come in. I did not acknowledge anybody in the chat because
we didn't have time for that either.
Yeah, yeah, that's why we were.
And I am bad squirrel, guys. And so Felix, y'all don't realize the time we put into getting this show ready because they know how bad I am. And so we all worked together as a team to try to figure out the best way that I could do this interview without getting distracted. We had in 50 minutes, we were trying to get the most information, the most questions, and have fun at the same time. What was I going to say? See how squirrel I am? So we chose, for me, try not to look at the chat because they knew that if I started looking at the chat, that we'd lose time. By the way, Felix, on that text, I think that they were correct. I think it was the man. So just to let you know that, because if you'll notice, she called during the...
Yeah.
So I'm just answering a text behind the scenes there a little bit, but I'll talk to you about it. But I think I know what the problem was there. So, but anyway, so good deal.
Well, I'm glad that we were there early because it all worked out with him being ready to go.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Fortunately, I come in late. Like we were going to have a 30-minute pre-show meeting to talk about it one more time before the show. He wasn't supposed to have been on until 1 o'clock Eastern time. And so thanks, Linda R. Also, I got another. I had a couple super chats and super stickers.
I think burning up the roads, if I'm not mistaken.
Roads and Linda R. Was there another one?
Yeah, you had one earlier. I think burning up the roads, maybe.
Yeah.
Burning up the road. I don't remember.
Yeah, let me see. It probably pulled them up. It maybe. But anyway, thanks for all those. I didn't talk about them in the chat. I didn't want to interrupt the man. Right? So,
right.
And we were instructed.
Like burning up roads and Linda R. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that a whole lot.
Yeah, we couldn't even type in the private chat because we wanted no distractions for Gary.
Yeah, we made an agreement right off for them not to do anything in the private chat.
We even agreed not even to talk.
Pretty much.
Gary
I
talked first. I'm like,
I had to when he talked about that windstorm because people don't realize how devastating that windstorm was.
I could see the blood run out of Drew's face when he realized what he done, and then it was giving him the eye.
Yeah, I saw Felix looking at him like, no, you didn't.
Oh,
That's how
man.
Felix go.
Well, at least he kept it short and sweet when he realized he wasn't supposed to talk.
I know. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I had a
Oh
squirrel
man, I
moment.
gotta cut this off.
Well, when you guys first started, I had the assistant chief in here talking. So all of a sudden, my headphone just comes on sitting on my desk. I said, "Wait a minute, it's early."
Yeah.
It worked out great though. It was good.
It was really
Yeah.
good.
Grassroots living, we had a lot of talk behind the scenes about how we just didn't want to mess it up. And I took mainly advice, or all the advice from these guys, and they listened to me when I put my 2 cents. And this was a combined effort of a game plan, because we did not want to screw it up, because it wasn't a 2-hour interview. It was scheduled to be a 50-minute interview.
Yes, which Gary did not stick with. But the whole thing was with us all talking. A lot of times we overtalk each other. We overtalk the guests. And I guess for the best choice of words would be, we wanted to be as professional as possible. We didn't want to be over talking him and interrupting him or Gary. So we just,
if we'd had 2 hours, it'd been different. I don't know.
Yeah, we might have done it a little, but that 45, 50 minutes doesn't give you much time, and it was just kind of like boom, boom, boom. You gotta get right to the important questions, and
I will have to rewatch this to enjoy it, because I was on edge. I know we're both human beings, and I was truthful when I said I felt a lot better after I watched a ton of his videos. And it did make me feel a lot better. But yeah, I just gotta breathe. But it was good. I'll have to rewatch it on the way to school today, or not rewatch it on the way to school. When I always go to school early, and I sit there and let my bus warm up or whatever, and that's my me times when I'm at school. I don't know if you ladies ever noticed, or Jerry, that I'm always gone a long period of time for school, because I get there way early, and that's my 20, 30 minutes of sitting there, just me in the vehicle by myself, and I just get a lot done.
Oh, I don't know if this is Dean or Shalane talking, but we have no rules for your interview. I'm just saying. It's all go.
We're all gonna talk.
Yeah, we are all going to talk. We're all going to talk at the same time.
Yeah.
We may tell Gary just be quiet and let us 3 interview.
That's right. I may let him.
Yep.
Exactly.
No, it was great.
When I put this crew together, my dad calling. When I put this team together, crew together, we talked amongst ourselves, and I'm like, I know the YouTube community don't see this for what I see it, but I wanted it to be a hangout place, so we can all hang out, have fun. If we talk over somebody, we talk over somebody. If we have fun and laugh and interrupt, that's one thing. But I just felt like I owed you guys a lot when we have somebody that is considered, not that he's any better than us. He's not. Or is he any better than any of the other channels? He's not. But I thought I owed y'all maybe a little higher level, because we don't get one-on-one with somebody like that very often. And I wanted y'all to get something that made it, I don't know, that y'all may have learned something y'all didn't already know about them. So, but anyway, so.
And he feels the same way. He doesn't feel like he's up here. He's just there to help the community that he has.
If any of y'all had a question y'all wanted to ask, he does a Q&A every other week, I think. Matter of fact, he put one out yesterday, I think. Can you ignore a call from Dad but not Mama's?
Uh-oh.
you can ignore a call from your dad, but you can't ignore a call from your mother.
Well, I know what my dad's wanting. That's the only reason. Now, if Dad called again, I'd have to answer. I'm just saying. But me and my dad, we sort of know each other. Now, if my stepmom called twice, I would have to answer for sure because I know it would probably be about my dad. And so, Mama calls. I can ignore Mom's calls too because I just like I say I know them. So I don't do that. If I get 2 calls from them, y'all see me put y'all on hold and I go answer the phone. So I have a sort of a system of doing that because I love my family and I would not want something to happen to them while I was on the show. So, and 2, they all have my wife's cell phone number. So if it was an emergency, they'd call my wife. So, but you're right, RV Underway. You might get by with ignoring Dad, but you can't hardly get by with ignoring Mom. But Mom knows I do the show in the morning, and Dad too, and so he probably thinks I'm already off my show because they know I'm off by lunch. So,
well, that's true.
That's the only reason. Yeah. RV Underway, you're right. They keep me straight. I think I missed something else down through there.
Oh yeah, I've been in some of Bob Wells' live streams, and you can't read what's going by. It goes by so fast.
They do have on the Q&As. I watched the one from yesterday, and his people behind the scenes write down the questions.
They can pause the chat so they can grab the questions.
Yeah, they can grab questions. Yeah. So I thought about that yesterday. I was watching Bob. And I know he has a ton of information. One day we might do a Q&A day. One fun day Friday, we might do a Q&A. And that might be something we do tomorrow on my birthday. Give us something I can tell y'all stuff. Pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So I uploaded, members got something uploaded, and the community tab got something uploaded this morning. So
saw the member ones. I already saw the member one you uploaded. That's a nice picture.
Oh yeah.
Happy. So let me see here. Thanks, RV Underway. We try. And they try to keep me straight. They'll get a text every now and then from me that says, I know I'm going against the grain. then they know I'm up to something that my hard head is going to push forward. So
that or the whole, I have an idea for the show. It's like, oh man.
You know, there's 200 Texas coming after that one.
Yeah.
It comes down to putting us to work when he has an idea.
Oh man.
I have an idea. You guys make it work.
Thank you very much, Van Life Rocks. I am so glad that you've been putting out a lot of videos lately. I didn't get to know it, but I've been watching them, and I love that they're short ones too. They're like 4 and 5 minutes, and
that's what I like about Felix's, because there are a lot of hers aren't really long, and it can really hold your interest on some of this stuff she's doing. I ran her playlist. It was still going this morning when I woke up.
Yep. We ran it and it finished this morning.
I was at 97 out of the 112 or something.
So now we're looking around. Rerun them, can I, Felix? It hadn't been that long since I run it, right?
Yeah. Everybody's been rerunning it and it's been counting. So
I'll run it again tonight.
Well, I will turn it on. And
I don't really know where that whole 90-day thing came from or started from, but it's not been holding true for me. Because everybody that has rerun the playlist it's counted. So I don't know.
Well, I gave you 15 hours last night, so
you scared Mel because we heard your voice and he's like, "Where's that coming from?" And then we realized it was the tablet. That's Felix talking in the background.
Oh, Mel's going, oh my God, she's in our trailer. She's
Right.
in our RV.
No, she found us.
What it was is Nettie had her psychopathic on speaker. On speaker.
All Mel heard was this. If I hear that in the middle of the night, I'm making a new exit in mine rig.
Oh, man.
Use switchblades. That's too
That's-
noisy.
You know, fixed blade works. Fixed blades work so much better.
Oh, man.
That's
Oh, you guys are awesome.
We believe it or not, we've got some more big names coming up. Well, we got Grassroots Living next Tuesday night. I mean, they're rock stars.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this can be fun.
But we got some big names coming up in the next few weeks, I think. Few weeks, right?
Mhm.
And we'll announce those when we get a little closer. And this is, y'all just don't realize this bunch right here works harder than most people works on their own show. And they just blow me away. I'm about to cry now. But anyway, they blow me away with how much effort they put into a show that's on my channel. And so they seen, I told them my dream and my vision, and they've run with it. And so, whew. Hey, I got to show something off. I got an early birthday present, and I hadn't been out in the mailbox today.
Yeah, you got to get out there.
Ah, I'm surprised that's not hanging on
I'm
the
going to
ceiling
say that
above the
Mel
bed.
sent me this. Nettie probably wouldn't have seen it.
If
Mel
you go to
probably-
the mailbox, it's much better. And that one came from me.
I had to show y'all tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's my birthday, so I'll show y'all tomorrow. Nettie said I had another one coming. That right there makes my blood pump. Right,
Yeah, that came from Mal.
top hat.
I know you like that top hat. Mal said, "Yep, there's the top hat."
Yeah, buddy. See you traveling salvation. Go out and make a bunch of money, buddy. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, Gary, you're crying, Gary. We love you.
I think it's a Stevie Nicks picture.
Yeah, I know. He's gonna put it on his pillow.
I'm surprised it's not hanging on the ceiling above his bed.
I had to
The
have it
bathroom
here
for sale.
close so I could reach it and remember to show it to y'all. But anyway, I showed y'all. Yeah, I showed y'all what K&R sent us, the coffee and
Yep.
the RV washout. So I keep all this on the desk right here. That's another reason Tammy wouldn't let me have it in the bedroom. At least here I can close the desk.
Look at RV Underway.
Oh man, we share a
Sorry.
birthday, Ricky.
Yeah.
Well, that might not be Ricky. That might be the boss.
Yeah, Miss Barbara.
That might be Miss
I think she's
Barbara.
got her own channel though. Miss Barbara does.
Yeah, so that might be Ricky.
Stevie
Yeah.
Nicks is the bomb.
You ain't kidding.
So we know it's Ricky now.
They ain't no. I got friends that's got favorite female artists that are pretty up to date, and I'm like, guys, y'all don't even know what a legend is. Stevie Nicks is a legend.
I can do your nails. Mr. Bree said I can do Stevie Nettie nails.
Ah. Grassroots Living is asking if Ricky's turning 35. Yeah. Yeah, so Ricky's older than me, so that'd make me about 29. He ain't telling. I guess that we're both big Stevie Nicks fans. That would make us born sometime pre the mid 70s. Because I'm a life longer. So, Fleetwood Mac. I'm a Stevie Nicks fan with her in Fleetwood Mac or with her on her own. I'm not a Fleetwood Mac fan without her. And if any of y'all are fans, y'all know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
pre-Stevie Nicks, I'm not a Fleetwood. So see, Fleetwood Mac was pre-Stevie Nicks. So without Stevie Nicks, I'm not a Fleetwood Mac fan. Other than I'm a big drummer, and I can handle some good drums. But I think that my mind is
Oh,
blank.
so
Stop
what you're
clicking.
saying is that you're really a Stevie Nicks fan.
Yeah, a little kind of.
Yeah, I really don't even see that story was going anywhere
Oh,
else.
other than that
Yeah.
you're a Stevie Nicks fan.
That
already
is what I
knew
did
that.
watch the
So it
chat
seemed
during
like
the
a
interview.
whole lot of just rambling.
RV
What?
underway, man, that is awesome. Well, we need to auction that off. I'm a poor man, but I might sell some of my Second Amendment stuff to buy that.
That's interesting.
I mean,
I've got one I can sell you. Yeah, she used it. I think.
I would be able to tell Jerry Holly. I would be able, and just like RV underway, Ricky, we would know. We would know.
Yeah, Gary, go. No, Stevie Nicks didn't use that
I
much.
could hold it. I could hold it and tell you if she ever used it.
It's getting weird.
It's getting weird.
I know, because the psychopathic whatever I got can see it. Stop.
Oh,
Man. Lord have mercy.
No.
so pretty much what he's saying, the day that you get Stevie Nicks on the channel for an interview, none of us were going to be there.
That's right.
I tried, but
And it's
I never
probably just
got
going to be
enough
set
of
to
that.
private, and nobody else will ever see it but him and Stevie Nicks.
And I never received a reply, so
If I ever say absolutely, Stevie Nicks makes Fleetwood Mac. Senior sister, dead on.
well, I agree with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
That's
Stevie
the whole
Nicks
reason they
didn't
went
need,
anywhere.
she didn't need Fleetwood Mac to be good, but she did
No.
have to have Fleetwood Mac to get promoted to stardom, and then that was able to make her the individual artist she was. To me, my all-time favorite song is the one and the live video of her and Tom Petty. Because Tom Petty, I'm a big Tom Petty fan as well. So the RV underway, Ricky, what I would give for a tambourine that she used. Whoo, man.
I've got one of those. I'll sell it to you.
Yeah, I would know if she used it.
I don't want to see you playing that in the closet.
I'd have that thing framed. I'd have vents in it so I could just go by and get the aroma off of it every now and then.
Oh my
I can't
goodness.
even smell, but I'm sure it would do something.
Oh my Lord.
Man, I wasn't old enough to go to.
You're going to tell your age.
They got as close. They were in Nashville not long ago, and I really wanted to go. And at the time, we just didn't. We were going in the winter, and we hadn't had a good year, and so we didn't go. But they were in. I think it was Nashville. They were in, and so I don't know how many more years she's going to perform. I figure she'll perform because she loved doing it. So. You never know, senior sister. You'll always be senior sister. I don't care. So, yeah, I can't wait till the day we get 1 million subscribers. It's going to be awesome for everybody. Well, we're trying, Mr. Breeze. Felix has done sent out emails to try to get her on the show. So,
Yeah, she seriously did.
if any of y'all ever watched Ally McBeal, y'all remember John?
Mhm.
When he would get nervous, he would start sounding like Porky Pig. That would be me if Stevie Nicks was on here. I'd be like, blah, 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 blah.
Oh no, 'cause see,
No,
we will
Tears.
just mute you or leave
Yeah.
you in the basement. We'll just take over the stream.
Yeah, you can
Here.
look at her like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, all y'all would see was drool running.
Drool.
out.
That's what I was gonna say. Be tears and drool.
Okay. He's
Tears
in
and
the
drool.
basement. Can't have that. Just have to watch from down there.
Uh,
Ugh.
if we could play copyrighted music for intros, y'all would get tired of it because I'd play it every day. Man, oh man. Yeah,
Stop dragging her heart around.
yeah.
I'm afraid he would. That would be the problem if he had it.
She. You know,
Okay.
have you ever disliked somebody for their personality?
You don't
When I
know
was
anything
young,
about her personality.
Huh?
You don't know anything about her personality.
No.
I guess I gave that away at Top Hat, but anyway.
It's like my freakish fetish with Farrah
Like,
Fawcett.
Gary is
I didn't know her
crushing-
personality.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't care what
It's
her
those
personality
niblets.
was like.
Right?
Oh man. RV underway. We got to get together and meet up one of these days. We can ever
Yes, sir.
settle down. I got to come down that way. I don't think you're too far from me. Me and Tammy will have to try to, when we get this house sold and settled down, we're going to get out some, hopefully. Maybe we'll be a little bit financially settled in and we see what's going on. But,
Okay.
man.
Okay.
See what?
I said, okay. That's enough with Stevie Nicks now.
I don't know. You can never get enough Stevie Nicks.
Oh.
I was gonna find something and show y'all.
You're going to get in trouble.
Think Google is a man's best friend.
Oh, ain't it though?
I'm gonna have to
All
buy Tammy a top hat.
See what I Googled?
Top hat.
Stevie Nicks top hat.
You know, you want
Well, it looked like there were several Stevie Nicks stuff there on your search bar.
that is the picture that legends are made of right there.
If you had the
And
hat
the top hat.
and the tambourine, man, you would be in heaven, wouldn't you?
Yeah, buddy. I mean, y'all just don't know. Ricky knows. Ricky knows. Yeah, Ricky. We hope to get on the road when we get a smaller place and figure out what we're going to do for money. Hopefully, maybe in the spring, we'll be back to doing birthday parties. We can make more money doing that than we can working, and that leaves us a little bit more flexible as well. I will say this is not a bad picture as well.
Okay, now we're going to have an hour of Stevie Nicks pictures.
Oh no.
Oh, man.
Well, it says birthday. Birthday week.
Birthday week. I get to celebrate all week if I want to.
That's right.
You're already crying. It's your party if you want to cry if you want to.
That's right. Okay, no, that's all I got. My brilliant personality.
Dead air.
Dead air. Yep.
Well, I'll tell you, Nettie, against my best judgment, I'm going at 3 o'clock today to look at a truck.
I know what you're going to look at.
It's not a Ford.
Oh my. It's a Dodge.
No. It's worse than
Chevy?
that. Yeah.
That's like the worst.
I know.
That's a poor man's, what do you call it?
Are you doing the Duramax?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The poor man's work truck.
Oh yeah.
Well-
See, you know why it's called the poor man's work truck? Because you don't have to work on them.
No, I just towed one. I got a picture. Oh, let me show you a picture. Speaking of pictures, I got a picture of my Ford towing a Chevy back to the station this morning. Here.
Jerry,
Oh,
Arizona Insider. Isn't that your co-worker, Jerry?
No.
No.
No, he's been on the show before though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ricky will be happy. Alabama starts playing football this weekend. I don't know if Auburn does or not. Keisha usually keeps me up to date on that, and I've not seen her in a few days. So the whole college world will be sad to see that Alabama starts back playing football this weekend. I noticed that I think the Big Ten has decided they're going to play since the SEC decided not to fold and ducktail and run, but they so I think they've decided to jump in, and so it should get interesting by the end of the year. But I don't watch a lot of football anymore anyway. I said I wasn't going to watch any after they voted to pay the players, so I don't know when that starts. But anyway, I don't like watching professional sports, and if you're going to pay college players, I'm not into that. So I just have to do something else, like deer hunt or something. Anyway,
Yeah, we're too busy working for you, Gary, to watch TV.
yeah,
What's TV?
we don't have time for that when you run the #1 morning show on YouTube, and it takes all we can do. We may have to hire Ricky. You know, Ricky's a radio guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can work remotely and handle all of our technical issues, which we've not had none since we've all teamed up. Well, I take that back. We had a week of technical issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I keep having them.
I wonder if Ricky would work for what you guys work for.
Oh, I'm sure he would.
You might
I
want
don't
to ask him first.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
starting to take after me, Felix.
What's that?
Speaking for other people.
Oh.
Arizona insiders agree with me. Keep the money out of college sports. They get a college education. Hey, that's what
Yeah, no
amateur
kidding.
sports is about.
Yeah.
Ricky worked, but see, Ricky, if you work for me, it wouldn't be full time. It'd be a contract. We'd pay to play.
Full time plus. It's about a 20-hour a day job for 7 days a week. So,
But right now,
Right.
we're up to,
8 days a week.
I think y'all are up
25 hours a day.
25 hours a day for 8 days a week.
I think y'all are up to 7 zeros on y'all's checks. So
I know my last one was, I was opening it and it was like, wow, that's a lot of zeros.
Exactly.
Man.
KNR, they're going to go be looking at a truck today, too.
Probably buying a Ford.
$450, baby. If I was buying a new one, I'd definitely be. Oh, by the way, the Ram is in Deckard, Tennessee at another Ram dealership. They are going to try to help me get my truck fixed.
Good.
So it's an hour and a half. Not hardly an hour. About an hour. Yeah, hour and a half drive from here to there. But I really like the service manager. I liked him when I talked to him on the phone. I told him the whole story. And so when I got over there, I gave him another list of stuff that they don't want to fix over here. And he's going to look at those as well. So,
Gonna fix your tailgate?
well, he said he would look at it.
I will be so happy when you get that fixed so you can stop talking about it. Because, tired of hearing about the trucks.
It's a Dodge.
Do what? Oh, trucks.
Yeah.
Well,
Now we're talking about them in the chat.
450 Texas Family Camping. Why the 450? Well, no. Only reason I would even go 450 is because that's when they had the wide front end and it's easy to turn around. Didn't really need it for weight. I just wanted it for the wide front end so you could spin that baby around. Texas Family Camping Ram right now, and I do not jihad. So if I went and bought a brand new, don't think it'd be a Ram. But if I bought a used one, I might would buy another. And I like my truck. I just don't like that they don't have. Well, let me get done with Deckard. If they make everything right, then I might have a different opinion. It might just be a bad dealership. So, and I'm not going to name the bad dealership, but because they are just doing what they were told. So,
Who cares?
Exactly.
Felix is not a truck person. So,
Bye bye. Woo.
hang on, I gotta talk to Dad.
You better talk to Dad. High five at you, sister. Woo.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, he wears me out, Nettie. He wears me out.
I know. Now he's not here. You guys can't talk about trucks.
Oh, what are we going to talk about? You know,
I want to go talk about going and getting some lunch. It's 12:40.
yeah, I know. I was sitting here
I know.
quiet so I could go get some lunch.
What about you, Jerry, with your cargo trailer? Are you still looking around or just putting it on a back burner
Just
for a
putting it
while?
on a back burner. He said he's going to hold it. So,
Oh, okay.
so he's work camping all the rest of this year. So he's going to get back hold of me when he gets back into town, and then we'll see what's going on then.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's cool.
But I
Sports
told him
car.
if he could sell it, sell it. And he
Sorry
said
about
no.
that.
You got to go?
I had to turn my volume back up. I couldn't hear y'all.
You need to go.
We can hear you. You got to go?
Nope. I'm good. Dad, it wasn't that important. He just didn't realize I was on. It was important. I got a niece that's having a birthday. Daddy and them raises her, so I had to take care of my nieces. Even if I can't do them for the public, I can do them for me. I actually got 2 nieces having birthdays this weekend. So
I got some very good information this morning. Our training chief walked into my office and said, hey, you know that run you were at the other night? You know, the glow run, and I was out so late? We had a COVID positive person that you came in contact with.
No.
Oh, no.
do you get 14 days off?
Well, I'll find out as soon as he gets his test results back here. Now, you notice there's nobody around me.
All right. You had like 4 masks on. You had one on your head, on your eye.
I know. I can't believe that, though.
That's crazy.
So we had, I can't say if it was a student or a teacher. I can't go into all that, but we had somebody that tested positive within my workplace. Let me just say that.
Yep.
So a lot of my kids are going to be home until October the 5th. So, but you know, I think everybody's good. It's just, you know, being cautious and
Well, the good thing about it, I did have my mask on the whole time I was around them, so hopefully it had helped.
typically hot air kills that. What I'm hearing, that's like coffee. Oh,
So
you take
you're
that
saying
wrong way, Jerry?
what? Felix, it's
Uh-oh.
time.
Felix.
It may be time we take a little trip to Alabama.
I'll drive. We'll be there in 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I'll stop by and you pick me up and we'll be there quick.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Sounds good.
Oh man.
K&R are going to McCarthy Chevrolet. They're in Olathe.
Huh. I got some
Hey,
text.
maybe they'll have a used Ford on the lot.
They do, but they want too much money for it. That's what got me talking.
Well, we were talking to Jerry about this the other day. He could probably buy a new and get no interest.
Well, that's what he told me.
And rebates and all that other good stuff.
Well, and that's kind of who we go through the fleet manager, you know, to buy trucks here. And he said he could probably give me a pretty good deal with like no interest. And it's crazy. You can get a new one cheaper than you buy a used one for.
So
It's
you could get one for what the fire department gets it for?
not quite that, but close. I mean, he works with us pretty good on
Well, the
it. So.
thing is, he needs to, because even though y'all buy off a bid sheet, you could buy from a different dealership, couldn't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the good thing about working for a state agency. Y'all do have clout.
Yeah.
Hey, Jerry, K&R wants to know if you got their text.
Hang on.
I got their text. I got a text from them.
Well, they weren't asking if you got their text. They
Exactly.
were asking if Jerry got the text.
Y'all believe Ricky talked about me like that?
Well, I mean, I kind of agree. So,
Yeah, I was thinking more of gas myself.
I don't know if I ever got to tell you.
Yes, I did, but it came out as a wireless caller, so I didn't know it was.
I don't know where y'all got that after our conversation this morning.
Have a good day, Grassroots.
Do what?
Grassroots heading out.
bye.
See you, grassroots living. Hey, next week we may change our format to a Jeopardy style interview.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't know if I got a response from that, but I didn't. Anyway, we're gonna have fun. I can't wait to have them on.
Because we're all like, what? I don't think so. Don't think that's the way it's going to go.
Let's see here. Let's get over here where I'm supposed to be.
I'll be like this during the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You're on your own.
Yep.
I'm out.
Oh me. I did get a what? No, we'll have fun.
Don't worry. We won't let him do that.
No.
I don't think you could focus well enough to do that.
What's that?
I would
Give the answer and try to get the question. There is no, you would not be able to do that. I just don't think you could do that. You like to ask too many questions.
So Jerry's probably finding out right now if he's going to get to go home.
They're probably just going to make him do the swab.
He forgot that he muted his own microphone.
I put no, Yahoos.
He's probably being told right now he's got to go get the brain test.
You can see that say Yahoo's a little better now.
Yeah, I like it. It looks good.
Yeah, it looks a little
Jerry
better.
may have to go get he's practicing. He's leaning his head back now for the Q-tip to the brain test. Oh, he's got his ears back on. We can't talk about him now.
Yeah, he's still muted though.
Are you getting quarantined? Are you getting quarantined, Jerry?
Are you going to get the Q-tip to the brain?
Oh.
He's looking. See if anybody's in there. Oh, wow. Hey, Jerry, don't get fired, buddy.
Oh.
And now he's going to use that to write with.
Hey, K&R destination. Jerry.
In the hallway.
Oh, boss is in the hallway.
Oh, hey, K&R, don't get your feelings hurt. Jerry don't respond to us either.
He always responds to me, so
I had to add him to a group text to keep him informed.
Well, I don't care why you respond. I just care that you respond. So, you know, if it takes a little bit of a threat, then I guess that's the way it has to be.
I talked to him one-on-one.
Actually, it's funny. He called me one day, and I just have my phone on vibrate, and I had it over on the charger, and I wasn't paying any attention. I went over there, and I'm like, missed call, you know. So I had missed his call, so I didn't answer his phone call. Even though when I called him, he picked right up. He was
I have
really
my
You know-
phone vibrate when I'm driving my bus too.
I was
And they
just
all
going to
know
say,
it.
we
Willis doesn't
discussed this.
drive a bus because her phone would be in a bad place like you.
Yeah, we don't want to go there, Gary. We know all about you and your weird phone fetish.
Yeah,
No, y'all are the ones that know good and well that I'm on my bus.
exactly. And you want us to keep texting you.
I've got to. No, I've got
Yeah,
to.
because
Look
he
at my
texts
phone
back so that we have to respond.
anymore.
He likes it.
Y'all know I don't text back when I'm on my bus. I ain't never got so many texts in all my life running a 1 hour bus route. I thought Verizon was going to call me and make sure I didn't do something to my phone.
I was afraid that
No.
maybe.
You know, darn and well, he probably sits at home with it there too. That way, you know. He's like, hey, this works so well when we're on the bus.
Kyle, you're going to have to help me here.
Yeah. If y'all don't know, he keeps his phone between his legs while he's driving his school bus.
Who don't? So,
Like
y'all don't
none
drive
of us.
school buses. So, I just want to know where y'all keep y'all's phone when y'all are driving.
In my purse, on my phone holder.
Seat, on the dash, in the purse.
Well, being the respectful driver I am, I usually turn my phone off and put it in the
Oh, yeah, you
console, so it's
liar.
it's no disruption to me or my fellow drivers.
Yeah.
In the cup holder, mainly.
Cup holder. Mine tends to sit in a cup holder.
Mine props up against my switch for my light bar. Sits there perfectly. So,
Aaron in the house.
Aaron,
Kyle, yesterday I was told I needed to get a haircut, and then we let Bob on here, and nobody said anything about Bob's hair. Not one. Not one.
I was going.
Said, hey,
I was
Bob,
going
get
to.
a haircut.
I was going to, but I wasn't allowed to talk.
Because he can pull it off.
I might get when it gets longer. Are y'all afraid I'm gonna have Stevie Nicks' hair if it gets long? Is that what y'all are afraid of?
No, it
I'm
won't even
afraid that we won't be able to tell if it's your back hair
look that good.
versus your hair on your head.
Oh man. So what about my beard? Can I grow it as long as Bob Wells'?
As long as you put braids in it.
So is that the boss man? Because he needs to go do some work or something. He's
No.
just like, why is this guy just roaming around?
I think this is Donut Guy.
This guy's overpaid.
Donut guy?
He's not doing a darn thing.
He's got a radio in his hand. This is Donut Guy. This is Suck Up Guy, I think. Oh, wait. There's Jerry.
Gary, if you need our help, just blink twice.
There's Thrifty Angela.
Oh, man. That's great.
Thrifty Angela, you'll have to watch the replay. We had Bob Wells on this morning. Which you're not an RVer, so you may not have a clue who Bob Wells is, but uh-oh.
Can you share that screen there for me and see if anybody can answer this question for me, please?
Oh.
Oh,
What's the question?
your knowledge.
Select the best answer to the panel to the right. The primary fuel source has been properly overhauled. The 7 sides of the fire, the basement. So once a fire has been contained and knocked down, what must be verified and checked before fire control is achieved? Fire chief is responding to the scene, the basement, 7 sides of the fire.
The 7 sides of the fire.
He got it wrong.
Well, you
Jerry
didn't.
Collins?
You didn't wait for us to tell you the answer.
Yeah, we didn't get to Google it.
Well, the fire chief I knew was the wrong answer because somebody
But
got
it's B.
stopped and get the pizza and the
B.
water. So he may not be there before the fire is contained.
Well, and the basement makes no sense because not every building has a basement. So you could kind of rule those last two out.
Oh,
But-
did you see what Kyle said about your phone, Gary? Yeah.
Man, we done been on nearly 2 hours.
We're hungry. We're hungry.
Yes, time to call it quits. Let's go.
Tammy
eat.
brought home some microwavable barbecue, and it by no means is it even in the top 100, but it is eatable. And so that's what we had yesterday, and that's what I'm gonna have today. Pretty good.
I think
Barbecue
I'm gonna
sandwich.
do pizza.
It's barbecue, and then you just furnish your own bun, so it's not mushy buns. Don't you hate getting microwavable sandwiches? The buns ruin it. So just get microwavable meat and make your own.
Don't cook them so long.
Well, still, I don't like my bread soggy or
I hate
hard.
soggy bread.
Nothing worse.
I
All
think there's nothing wrong.
right, guys. Thank you. Hey, Jerry, you rotate. Go. That means emergency.
Oh no.
Uh-oh, Jerry gotta go.
Yeah. Okay, we gotta
Oh,
go eat.
We gotta leave. We gotta go eat. So thanks everybody for coming. I love you guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
At
See
the
ya.
normal time.
Normal time.
Normal time. Yeah, normal time tomorrow. See y'all.